Let's talk about that with Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, a guy who knows a thing or two about budget issues. Why the surprise there, Governor? It seemed like for once you had Republicans and Democrats on board to pass this bill, and now Harry Reid seems to have angered both sides by shrinking it. Why?
Well, I have no clue. I thought the jobs bill was a good opportunity for us as a country and as a government to work together in a bipartisan fashion, and that's what we did. And look, the bill has some good Republican principles that we Democrats agree to. Help for small businesses, capital gains exemption. We agree with that, and it's a good Republican principle. Infrastructure, I think both sides agree there's nothing better for this country than spending money on infrastructure. It creates jobs on the construction site and creates jobs back at American manufacturing, steel plants, asphalt plants, concrete plants. So it's a shock to us. I mean, in the States, we were all hoping to see a robust jobs bill, and we're confounded by this action, absolutely confounded.
You just found a way to put together a budget for Pennsylvania that actually has your state spending less money than you were spending in 2002. Can you take that lesson to Washington somehow?
Well, yeah, I think, remember, when you say less money, on the operational side of the government, not even adjusted for inflation, we're spending less money than we spent in 2002. We've pared down our operational side by $1.75 billion a year, and that's important. And Washington can do that. You know, Vice President Gore headed up a thing for the Clinton administration where they actually made a little bit of progress. But that progress has not been sustained, and there's plenty of places to cut, plenty of places to cut, plenty of places to save. John McCain, for example, was a good advocate for cutting down the waste in the military budget. No one wants to cut down things that our soldiers and sailors and airmen need, but there's a lot of wasteful spending in the military budget, and we've got to go after every dime, because every dime we can cut out, you can use for things that are important to invest in for Americans' future.
Okay, well, you're talking about wasteful spending, though. A lot of people see a lot of pork in that $787 billion stimulus budget that was passed, and only about 35% of that money has actually been spent yet. Would you advocate taking another look at some of that stimulus money and seeing if there's some pork that could go away?
Well, sure, no doubt there was. I mean, what happened with the stimulus bill is it went beyond just job producing, and in that regard, it missed the mark. But there's plenty of it that's doing very, very well. But remember, when we look back on it, John, there were really two parts to the stimulus bill. One was job creation, like the money for infrastructure, and that has worked big time. Another was holding jobs, the money that came to the states. Without the stimulus money in our budget this year, in Pennsylvania, we would have seen layoffs of 20,000 to 30,000 teachers, policemen, firemen, county workers, things like that. And then the second big part of this stimulus was money that went directly to people, extended unemployment comp benefits. And I think most Americans agree that's a good idea. More food stamp dollars as more and more families have to turn to food stamps. The $800 family tax cut. Those are things that went directly to people themselves, weren't necessarily job creators, but softened the blow of the real economic recession. So some of it was pork, but a lot of it that people categorize as pork went directly to people to help them weather the storm. So I'm not sure. I think we could take a look at it. But I thought that the new stimulus, the $85 billion project, was pared down, and it was all job creation. And for the life of me, I don't understand what my leadership in the Senate is doing.
Perhaps you could call Senator Reid after this interview and ask him that question.
I intend to. I absolutely intend to.
Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, good to talk to you.